to a full show dedicated to lefties losing it. Starting with the hysterical hyena and certified crazy celebrity, former child star Selena Gomez, who's filmed herself ugly crying for the world to see, upset over the mass deportation of illegal immigrants.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do. I'll try everything, I promise.
Yeah, it's giving out-of-touch billionaire at bawling her eyes out from the comfort of her mansion and being so out of her depth about the real crisis on the streets. No mention there of American citizens dying from fentanyl, the women raped, the innocent people killed at the hands of illegals. I mean, does Selena want to house illegals in one of her mansions? I don't know. But look, thank goodness for the border czar setting the record straight.
President Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border last 4 years is the biggest national security threat this country's seen, at least in my lifetime, because we got over 2 million known gotaways. We got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got a record number of terrorists crossing the border on the terrorist watch list. We have 250,000 Americans dying from fentanyl coming across the open border. We're going to do this job, and we're going to enforce the laws of this country. If they don't like it, then go to Congress and change the law.
Yeah, so perhaps Selena can leave that mansion and head to Congress herself. And speaking of, was Dr. Phil joining Tom Homan to round up illegal migrants on anyone's bingo card this year?
You've been charged with sex crimes with children?
Not really.
Not really? And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh. Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
What an incredible 2025 it is. I just love it. Now to the self-identifying Karens. They're actually self-IDing now, can you believe it? They think it's a compliment, who are coming up with all sorts of lucrative ideas to keep illegal immigrants in the United States.
All right, white women, circle up. Listen, ladies, ICE raids are coming, all right? They've even started already in some places, and no location is off limits this time around, not even schools or churches. So you know what that means, right? That's right. It's time for us to put our very best Karen skills to good work. If you see an immigration official, you go full DEFCON Karen immediately. I'm talking pull out all of the stops, whatever you can do to distract that official and waste his time.
DEFCON Karen, Karens unite, but as long as you're white, okay? Keyword there being white, because the left, they don't discriminate, do they? And make sure you pull out all of the stops.
I don't care if you have to pull a full-blown temper tantrum in front of that immigration official. You do whatever you have to do.
It's going to end very well for them, isn't it? About as well as it will for this clueless lefty.
Oh, so you think you're better than me just because I voted for Trump and you didn't? Yeah, I do. I think I am better than you in every way that there is to be. I think I'm smarter than you. I think I'm more empathetic than you. I think I can make judgment calls better than you. I think I can not only do research better than you, I can interpret that research better than you. I think I'm far less likely than you are to be tricked by a Nigerian trying to send me money. The most obvious con man came out and started conning people, and you fell for the con immediately. You didn't even check the depth of the pool before you jumped in. You were just cannonballs away.
Cannonballs away. They're so smart, those Dems, and they all look the same, don't they? Now to this bitter lefty who is having some sort of deranged tantrum in her car after seeing people waving the American flag.
And they both got their arms out like, America! And they've just got this look on their face, and you just know that they're like conservatives or Republicans, you know? And it's cringy AF. Like the American flag did not do this before, and now it's just become their symbol, and
Gosh, imagine being so triggered by the stars and stripes. Maybe move to another country. I don't know, off your trot. Now to Trump's executive order on gender, and it's got the X identifiers, the gender benders, the pronoun princesses in a tiz, because they don't know what they're going to put on their passports.
For people with gender markers that do not match their appearance, or the gender marker X that are trying to go through United States borders right now, they're being stopped and they're being detained. Hey, can you guys do me a favor and research this funny little thing called V-coding? Y'all, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, well, here's what you can do. Choose the gender you were born with. It's really that simple.
Not only is this executive order clearly transphobic, but it's also biologically inaccurate. It erases and assumes that intersex people just don't exist, especially when they are trying to change language from gender to sex, because it is based on an individual's immutable biological classification.
Oh dear, who's going to tell them? You or me? There are only two genders. That is the point. Biology isn't about vibes or feelings. It's based on science, those poor things. Now to this Karen who feels so unsafe in Chicago, she's blaming Donald Trump.
Walking around in downtown Chicago and a group of men drove past me and yelled stuck-up at me. Since the election, I wanted to point out that the way that men catcall me and other women that I know has felt a lot more aggressive and bold, to the point where I'm scared that at some point they're going to pull over and try to pull me into the car. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or has stories about it, but I feel like it's dangerous because before it used to be, oh, where are you going? You're so pretty. And now it's like, you're out to get you. And it's really terrifying.
Well, should we just fact check her? Because we love to do that here on Lefties Losing It, because Chicago earned the title of America's murder capital last year. And that was under Joe Biden. But look, just keep telling yourself what you want to tell yourself. Now to the kooks over in the liberal media who are having a mass freak out over Trump's first week in office.
Donald Trump's first net approval rating of his second term is higher than his entire first term. And I was interested, has that ever happened? Has the second term net approval rating in the first month, have you ever had a higher rating than any net approval rating during the entire first term? Donald Trump is the only...
I have a really hard time believing this.
This is 100% true.
On a fascism scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being peak fascism, how would you rate Trump's first week?
A little Q&A there from MSNBC. Give us a rating, please, please. Now to these poor old federal sods who have been ordered back to the office, and boy, oh boy, they are not coping.
5 o'clock on a Friday. Got our notice, effective March 10th. We're back in the office 5 days a week. No telework. I am so upset. I am so mad.
It's going to cost me. I did my budget for the year. I had plans for my money, how I wanted to spend it, how I wanted to save, what I wanted to pay off this year. I am now going to be spending an extra $250 to $500 extra dollars, $250 to $400 extra dollars a month just to go to work.
Just to go to work. I think this sums up that sentiment.
So I'm hearing that they're gonna make us start coming to work, like going into work, like leaving home and going in. Like I'm gonna have to get dressed and drive there. I'm gonna have to deal with traffic.
Hollywood has been Glenn Close sounding the doomsday alarm about Trump's America.
I'm a big reader of history, and unfortunately, I think not enough people in this country understand the history and what we've just gotten ourselves into. That's very dangerous.
Well, it's about as dangerous as this next video. Has anyone done a welfare check on old Glenn?
The sun comes up, the sun goes down, and my hair is a symphony all its own. It's so beautiful, it takes my breath away.
She's come a long way from her fatal attraction days, hasn't she? And those days have taken a toll, clearly. Now, the question has to be asked, why is Hollywood so woke? Well, let's ask actor Anthony Mackie what Captain America represents for him.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable.
Yes, so Captain America doesn't think Captain America represents America. Quite a tongue tie there. And speaking of fatal attraction...
Can someone tell me what MAGA men find attractive so that I can wear the complete opposite? Thanks.
Oh, look out, all you MAGA men. Don't make yourselves look too good or else. Now to Donald Trump's executive order on banning trans people from the military, and it's got this trans Democrat in a tiz.
The military is the largest employer of transgender Americans. You heard up to 14,000, 15,000 members identify as trans, and 56 of our retired generals have said that our trans members are ready to serve, they are fit to serve. This will only make our military less ready to serve by taking 15,000 people who volunteered out of service.
Yeah, I wonder if China is thinking about preparing its military for battle with trans people, because I'm sure a diverse military is front of mind for Beijing. Now, a quick public service announcement from the folks down in Mexico.
And let me make something absolutely clear, unless it wasn't already. If you voted for Trump, you are not allowed in Mexico. You are not allowed in Cabos, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Aguascalientes, none of that. Guess what, baby? That's all in Mexico. You don't like us, we don't like you. Don't go there. Stay in your country. Figure it out.
And who wants to tell her that the difference between Americans going to Mexico on a vacazione, not to stay there illegally, and overwhelm their systems? Now to the bitter banshees over at The View and the dim-witted Sunny Austin, as always, who has offered her unusual and crazed views, and this time on Trump's deportations.
The Europeans that come here that overstay their visas are undocumented, but they don't come across the southern border. So I think there's a very clear message as to what this president wants the look of a criminal migrant to look like, what an undocumented migrant. And I think that's racist.
Yes, okay, it's racist because he isn't targeting Europeans. Does she listen to herself? And this is where Sunny probably should have stopped. But no, she continued with the mumbo-jumbo, claiming living in the country illegally isn't a crime.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal because he or she is undocumented. That is a civil offense. So to call people illegal is, in and of itself, I think, xenophobic and racist.
And this is where her IQ, the low IQ, shows, because you actually have to legally enter a country. I don't know why it's just so hard for these loons to understand. Now to the backlash over Selena Gomez's Britney Spears-esque meltdown over deportations. And guess who you could always count on for support? Yes, it's sacked CNN anchor Don Lemon.
So now we live in a time where Selena Gomez, even though she is, a wealthy star, she can't have an opinion. She can't post online how she feels about deportations and immigration without being made fun of by the far right or the MAGA folks. And just like everybody else, just like you folks who are criticizing her, she can state her feelings online, on social media, just like you are.
Poor Donnie, trying desperately to seek relevance, and I know just the fix.
Ice, ice, baby.
Oh, please, keep them coming.
I'm so sorry. Only people are getting attacked. Children.
It brings tears to my eyes as well. Now to the ice truck, which has got the lefties panicked.
That's Border Patrol. That is so
Just like Mr. Whippy, these lefties will believe anything, including this conspiracy that ICE is disguising their trucks as ice cream patrol and playing music to lure undocumented immigrants. Cue the panic, cue the warnings.
What's going on, guys? Just a quick little message for all the Latinos out there. Just gonna say, keep your eyes open, pay attention.
Eyes open. Well, in reality, it was, after all, just your average run-of-the-mill Las Vegas ice cream truck. Well done, gullible lefties. Gee, the pronoun puffers are getting even more complex and confusing. Let's ask this lefty how they identify.
Have you ever had a cis person ask you what your pronouns are and you're like, I'd rather you just called me a slur instead of asking me what my pronouns are right now? There's this thing that people who aren't trans do where they will have no idea how to refer to you because of the way that you look. Because based on the way that I look and the way that I sound, like the tone of my voice, like how high it is, it's not very high. I have kind of a lowish voice, a pretty androgynous voice, and I dress very androgynously, and like I just don't exactly exude male or female to any reliable extent.
Okay, well, if you say so, but gee, quite the essay of an explanation there. And I mean, it's just so funny. These people get mad when you call them the wrong thing, and then they get mad when you say the right thing. They certainly keep us on our toes.
If you change your name and gender marker on your ID, you also get a new birth certificate. And in my new birth certificate, it says my new name and assigned gender at birth, female. Now, I don't know why they retconned my entire identity, but I guess I'm cis now. Ho, is you cis? So if anyone ever comes and calls me a man, I'm safe, because I have state government approved paperwork that I'm fish.
I'm the cold cat with the long black locks, always on the lookout for them long black locks.
The love and respect for women or fish is palpable. Look, perhaps this therapist with a very appropriate name can help.
Hi, my name is Karen, and my pronouns are they, them, and I'm a licensed psychotherapist in the states of Colorado and Washington. And something that I have been processing a lot lately is what it has felt like in the last week or so to be a non-binary person. I've been thinking a lot about the impacts of the executive order that is, attempting to say there's only two sexes, and really just actually feels like it was written by people who haven't passed 7th grade science.
Yeah, actually, the science says otherwise, Karen. The science has never changed. There are only two genders, so maybe Karen needs a 7th grader to tell her that. Now, a warning. This next character is suffering with a serious, chronic, and quite frankly, acute case of Trump derangement syndrome.
I told you! 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 Told you! Told you!
Now, don't say I didn't warn you. Where did this bat-crazy wilding come from? Oh, and don't worry, there's more.
Some of you MAGA better pay attention and you better listen, because this is exactly what the you voted for. And when you're saying, oh, but he said he wouldn't do that. He said he wasn't going to do that. He doesn't know what it is. He knows exactly what it is. Actually, it's his handlers who know exactly what it is, because this dumb can't read for
Wow, okay. And why are the meltdowns always in cars? Now to the cackling witch herself, Joy Behar from The View, whose jealousy is something to behold. Here is her assessment of Trump's new White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
The ever-empowering feminist, Joy herself, everyone. And this is why, of course, she's on The View and not working for the most powerful man in the world, because Caroline would wipe the floor with you bitter banshees any day. Now to the chief loon herself. Come on, it wouldn't be a lefties losing it without MSNBC's Joy Reid and the fear this woman must have. Here she is comparing Donald Trump's administration to that of Adolf Hitler again.
Similarities to what happened in Germany and what's happening now in America are just undeniable. History may not repeat verbatim, but it sure does rhyme.
Gosh, it must be such a drain on poor Joy. Every day flying the fake flag, saying the same lines over and over. It's like she must remain outraged at all time. Who could be next on her hit list?
Government went so far as to tell federal agents in immigration raids to be camera ready and brought none other than TV host Dr. Phil along for the ride. Which is interesting, given both the rise in MAGA immigration influencers they're seemingly endorsing and the fact that Dr. Phil has made a career out of exploiting vulnerable people for money.
No, not Dr. Dr. Phil, he's even got the chief loon after him. Anyone else?
Governor who's confirmed as a Department of Homeland Security. I mean, it's as she's cosplaying. It's almost a game where she seems to be cosplaying. I'm not sure what she thinks that she's portraying here. She might as well be at Comic-Con.
No, come on, not the Homeland Secretary now. Whatever will they do with Joy's mark of disapproval? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll hand it over to Tom Homan for his assessment of Joy Reid.
James and Joy say you're reckless and you're just role-playing for fun.
She's dumber than a box of rocks.
He never misses, does he? Now to the deportations of illegals, which have left lefties in a full panic.
And I hope that just how Donald Trump is not allowing all of these different people here in America, I hope that the presidents of those other countries start banning Americans from coming to their country to see how y'all like it. Because y'all real quick to be in the comments talking about, oh, send them back, and baby, you want to be vacationing in their beautiful islands and in their beautiful waters, though, eating their food.
Well, baby, there is actually quite a big difference between being on vacation and staying illegally in a country. It's really that simple. Gosh, the ever-fascinating lefties, they love to overcomplicate, don't they? And I wonder how ICE officials will go up against this one.
ICE is in New York. We're having a meeting about what to do if ICE shows up to the school. They are in New York. It is not safe. As far as I know, our policy is to call the superintendent, but the principal said we might open the doors. So, looks like I'll be getting arrested.
Yes, you are, honey. And let's ask this next teacher what she would do.
This is my impression of if an ICE officer comes and talks to me while I'm at school and asks me to give up the immigration status of some of my students. Hey, I'm a piece of ICE officer. Do you know the immigration status of these students?
Okay, well, I dare you to do exactly that. And look, things just keep going from bad to worse for these unhinged white liberal women.
I have a question. Is it a crime for me to report myself to ICE or just waste their time? Or is it a crime to apply for Target and all these other companies that got rid of DEI and just waste their time, like schedule interviews and don't show up, schedule another interview, don't show up? Just thinking about being a nuisance. Just want to ruin some managers' days, ruin some ICE agents' days. I got nothing but time. I'll waste everyone's time. I'm into it. It's a hobby.
Anyone want to tell her about obstruction of justice? Anyone? And PSA, if anyone is actually looking for a sanctuary, the governor of Oregon has your back.
Hi, Oregon. Governor Kotek here. I will not back down from a fight. Whether it's access to reproductive and gender-affirming health care, staying on our path to reach our climate goals, protecting immigrant communities, upholding our civil liberties, and fighting for prosperity for every Oregonian. I will stand firm for all of us. To our immigrant friends and neighbors, as your governor, I see you, I stand with you, and I've got your back.
Sounds like the wokest place in America. Illegals, welcome, please. And by the way, if you like international cuisines, if you're a food aficionado and you vote for Donald Trump, well, look out, because this next lefty is coming for you.
If you're pro-Trump, I better not see you in the international section. Y'all don't get to reap the benefits of people you're kicking out of the country.
The ever-tolerant left, fascinating, top-notch people living in the fantasy world, including this one.
Just to make sure we're all on the same page here, the Colombian president didn't decide to accept those migrants because of the Trump admin's typo-ridden threats of tariffs and sanctions. He accepted them because the alternative threat is those migrants being condemned to a lifetime of slavery and imprisonment in the modern American concentration camps. That's where we're at. That's why.
Yes, that must be right, must be where America is at. You keep telling yourself that. And gosh, America must really be regretting its election choice.
Do you hear the people singing the song of angry men? It is the music of a people who will not be slaves again.
Did she sing that? Cute. Chart topper for sure. Now, just a PSA to all American businesses staying woke, these lefties will support you to the death.
What's poppin', peeps? It's your boy Rich. I'm in Kroger
shopping, which is unusual, but I will start shopping at Kroger since Walmart ended its DEI program. So since they ended their DEI program, they won't get my black Creole dollars.
So yeah, out running some errands. Of course, I ended up at Costco. Of course, I'm enjoying a slice of Costco pizza. And I have one more stop to make. And in that stop, I'll be picking up some Ben & Jerry's. Why? Because on this page, we support the companies that are fighting back and are keeping the diversity and inclusivity initiatives.
There's nothing like the wholesome liberal support, is there?